As part of ESPN's Feast Week, presented by Lowe's. For the 13th straight year, college basketball celebrates Thanksgiving in Southern California. We're at the Anaheim Arena, where Providence is set to take on Long Beach State in their first game of 4 today here at the Wooden Legacy. We take a look at this 8-team tournament, the bracket that starts with 2 morning games here on the West Coast. Providence Long Beach State, followed by Wake Forest Charleston, and then in the afternoon, UCF Penn, and in the late evening, Pepperdine and number 14 Arizona. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Alongside Corey Williams, I'm Eric Rothman. Happy to be here with you in Anaheim. And Corey, this is a great tournament year in, year out. This year, anchored by your number 14 Arizona Wildcats.
Well, the one thing about Feast Week, you can throw all the rankings out as we've seen. You got to show up and play basketball. Talking about 3 games over 4 days, holiday season. Got to come out ready to go.
Providence this year so far is being anchored by one of the members of the Wooden watch list, and that's Alpha Diallo.
Does it all. You talk about talent. 6'7", handles the ball, can shoot, rebound. He's the guy that leads this team. He's going to have a big game this afternoon.
And for Long Beach State head coach Dan Munson, he's got a gem in JUCO sophomore transfer Chance Hunter.
I really would want him shooting the ball. Look at that, over 50% from 2, shoots almost 60% from 3. I want him taking all the shots if I'm Long Beach State.
Starting lineups presented by Paycom at the bottom of your screen. Luan Pipkins for Providence is second in the Big East in assists per game. He averages 6. And for Long Beach State, we mentioned JUCO transfer Chance Hunter, but they also have sophomore transfer from Washington, Michael Carter III, and a foul to start things off underneath on Long Beach State in the white uniforms at 2 and 4 this season. Providence is 4 and 2, the Friars from the Big East. There's 8 teams in this tournament, Corey. 8 different conferences represented.
Lots of different styles of play, but make no mistake about it, both teams want to get up and down, establish that tempo early.
Providence is 4 and 2 this year, coming off a year where they were 18 and 16 last year for Ed Cooley, which snapped a 5-year streak of getting to the NCAA tournament. They went to the NIT last year. And Long Beach State, this is a very, very young team. 9 newcomers, 6 freshmen, 3 transfers, also 3 guys who redshirted last year as they turned the ball over on their first offensive possession. Diallo with the left-hand drive. He lost it. Sloppy play up and down the court to start things off here in Anaheim. And there is that Washington transfer, Corey, Michael Carter III.
Both teams having a little trouble early. Got to settle down, some turnovers, leading to easy baskets.
Providence coming off a loss against Penn the other day. Penn is in the other side of this bracket. Some of these teams playing preliminary games outside of Anaheim before the tournament started against other tournament teams that they weren't necessarily guaranteed to see, given how the brackets were aligned. As you see, Ed Cooley in his 9th season as Providence head coach, 5 trips to the NCAA tournament, as well as the 2014 Big East title. And Dan Munson is in his 13th season, the all-time winningest coach in Long Beach State University history.
Got 2 great experienced coaches matched up here in this opener.
Good defense by Providence. Hunter nowhere to go with 14 on the shot clock. Carter kind of weasels his way out of trouble, going after his own rebound. A whistle on the loose ball will go against Carter. Michael Carter III sat out last year after transferring from Washington. He's from the Seattle area and already making an impact. Excuse me, sat out 2 years ago, but he missed almost all of last year. With a hand injury. Pipkins for 3. Providence slow on the offensive end. They average 80 points per game. Haven't gotten one yet. And Long Beach State gets their second bucket, this time the junior Colin Slater. Here is Diallo, recklessly into the lane, lost it, tapped it out to Holt for 3.
And that's something you're going to see a lot from the Friars, the penetration and the kick. They've got bigs that can shoot. Diallo creating the action with the assist.
You got to feel good for graduate student Emmett Holt, who's missed most of the last 2 seasons with injuries. Finally healthy, playing really well, coming off a double-double in their last game. Joshua Morgan missing the turnaround. The Providence offense, Corey, just looking a little disjointed.
Great pressure being put on by Long Beach State, but right here, watch the blocker in front. The nice pick, and then he gets the kind roll off the glass. Just kind of follow your guy to the hole. Moving screen wasn't picked up by the officials, but Long Beach State is a transition team. They play aggressive defense, like you mentioned. They're always out, extended defense. If you look at the defenders, they're out in front of the three-point line, trying to harass.
Nate Watson double teamed underneath. Diallo missing the 3. Long Beach State has to be careful. Michael Carter III already has 2 early fouls as he heads to the bench for the Beach. Drew Cobb, the junior from Sacramento, comes into the game. Good drive by David Duke, nowhere to go, was able to corral it out to Pipkins for 3.
And the Friars started off cold from downtown, but there you see back-to-back threes and the turnover.
Numbers for the Friars. Duke behind the back. Dishes to Diallo, who will go to the free throw line. A foul on Romel Manzel.
When you have a player that attracts a lot of attention, you want to keep your eyes on your teammates. That's a nice kick out for the knockdown. Ball movement so important, getting guys to share the ball early in the season, trying to establish a rhythm.
Pipkins is usually the one sharing the ball. He averages 6 assists per game, shooting just 32% from 3. But after a broken play, he was wide open for that 3-pointer. So here is Alpha Diallo at the free throw line. He's coming off a game of the loss against Penn, 16 points, 8 rebounds, averaging nearly a double-double this season.
Very unique player, takes his time, doesn't force a lot, but knows his responsibility on this club.
6'7", he's long and rangy. Can play inside and outside. As Malik White, the senior for Providence, who's had 2 really good games in a row. His past 2, he's averaging 17 points, 3 assists, and he's 6 of 12 in his last 2 games from the 3-point line. So that is a luxury to have off the bench if you're head coach Ed Cooley. Pressure defense in the full court from the Friars as they are on a 7-0 run after Long Beach State had the first 2 field goals of the game. Providence at 4-2, their 2 losses to Penn and Northwestern. Long Beach State is 2-4, their 2 wins against Fresno Pacific and San Diego. 5 on the shot clock here for Hunter. Lobs one up, not sure if that was a pass or a shot. Either way, the rebound was blocked underneath by Holt. 3-ball missed on the release by Slater. Long Beach State continuing to get opportunities. Finally, Pipkins comes down with the rebound for Providence.
Great possession for Long Beach State. 2 offensive rebounds, couple of good looks. They came up empty.
And a whistle away from the ball will give us a chance to take a breath. Providence on top by 3 here at the Paycom Wooden Legacy. Where else would you want to spend your Thanksgiving but in Southern California here at the Paycom Wooden Legacy? Providence on top 7-4. Our first time out, we take a look at Long Beach State head coach Dan Munson, who's in his 13th year with the Beach, but of course started with Gonzaga and then went on to a very successful campaign with the Golden Gophers in Minnesota, and now has become the all-time winningest coach in Long Beach State University history, a 3-time Big West Coach of the Year. And you see Dan right there. And Corey, we talked about it, but a very, very young Long Beach State team. They're 2-4. They only returned 15 points per game from last year, 5th fewest in Division I. 9 newcomers, so you expect early this season to be a little bit off tilt.
Absolutely, but what I like is they're not ducking anybody. They got a decent schedule. They've played some Pac-12 teams and preparing for conference play. When you get young players, you keep your eye on the big picture, how they want to finish in conference and have a chance to make some noise come March.
6 games into the season for Long Beach State. as a 3 is off the mark for David Duke. Long Beach State has already played UCLA, San Diego, Stanford, St. Mary's, and Arizona. That is a gauntlet to start the season, especially for a team that has 6 freshmen on it.
It's the best way to grow a freshman up real quick. Take them on the road, play some of those games. Got some great tape, some great experience. Munson, an outstanding coach, going to use these opportunities to mature his players early in the season.
Well, they need to find some offense. They're 3 minutes without a point, as Providence has been on a 7-0 run. And on top of that, Long Beach State also has 5 fouls already, and we're only 5 minutes into this game.
But right now, their half-court offense is non-existent. The only 2 buckets they have come in transition. So they're a team that wants their defense to fuel the offense.
Freshman Greg Gant is into the game for Providence. He swings it up top to Diallo, inside to junior Nate Watson, who is fouled, and make that now 6 fouls on Long Beach State. This time Jordan Roberts, the junior from Bakersfield, California, called for the personal foul. So Watson get inside for Providence on that last play. He brings some much needed size to this Friars team after missing the first 4 games of the season with an injury. Malik White, who's been 50% from 3 in his last 2 games, misses that one. And a breakout opportunity now for Long Beach State, and just opportunities missed again as Jordan Roberts is too strong.
Great job in transition, got all the way to the rim and couldn't finish.
The mid-range jumper for Luwan Pipkins, the grad transfer, comes in from UMass. And an offensive foul as Pipkins got back and did the dirty work on the defensive end.
And you see Long Beach State wants to push the tempo, but right here you got to slam on the brakes. Great job getting your hands up, selling the call to the officials, obvious player control, excellent defensive rotation.
Great job of Pipkins to get back. Colin Slater, the junior, called for the foul. Long Beach State scoreless in nearly 4 minutes. They're just 2 of 11 from the floor in this game, as Gant corrals the loose ball, missing the turnaround. Cobb picks up the dribble with nowhere to go. Trevor Irish, the sophomore, checking in a moment ago, kicks it out back to Cobb, and that 3 lips out. Nothing going right for Long Beach State, and yet they're only down by 5. In the corner, it's Greg Gant, the freshman from Fayetteville, North Carolina, hits the 3.
And you see the rotation, you see the strategy, double the post and make them shoot from the outside, but the Friars have no problem knocking down the triple.
Well, it's a 12-0 run here in the first half for Providence after Long Beach State scored the first 2 buckets of the game. The Beach has missed their last 9 field goals, and Corey, Providence has taken advantage.
They've taken advantage because they're doubling the post and they're kicking out, and they've knocked down a couple of 3s. But like I said, 8-point game, and the Beach has struggled. They've gotten good looks, so you wonder, will they keep this same mentality, play with tempo and stay at it, shooting open shots, or will they start to fall apart here?
Foul on the floor as the drive by Colin Slater was stopped illegally.
You know, Ian, situations like this, when you guys are cold from the field, really all you need is to see 1-shot fall, and it's kind of contagious with the rest of the guys on the team. They've been getting good looks, just not good bounces on the rim.
And they're not, at Long Beach State, not a team that scores a ton of points, 70 points per game, but obviously 4 in nearly 7 minutes is well below their average, and not something that Dan Munson is happy to see. Slater trying to get to the rim, denied by the freshman Gant. Malik White is out by his own, hesitated, and then missed the layup, and now Providence called for the foul on the rebound, and it looked like, Corey, that Malik White was trying to draw the foul, and he missed the layup.
Well, it starts with a poor decision right here on the penetration. He gets that layup scraped, and then it's off to the races. But Malik White's so concerned with trying to draw the foul, he blows the chippy, and the Beach survives a horrible transition.
Well, at least for the moment. We keep calling Long Beach State the Beach, and that is because they officially changed their nickname for all sports except for baseball, from the 49ers to the Beach, and you could call their baseball team the Dirtbags if you like. They would appreciate that.
I'm glad you told me that.
If you're foul mouth, you might have called him that anyway. Yep. Michael Carter III comes back into the game with his 2 fouls that he picked up early, and it's not to say that the offense of Long Beach State was going gangbusters when Michael Carter III was in the game, but he's a guy that they really can't afford, given their inexperience with 6 freshmen. They can't afford Carter to be on the bench for long stretches of time.
No, he's got to come in the game. He's got to keep his hands in his pockets, no silly fouls, get through the first half. But more importantly, he's got to come in and provide some offense right now.
Guarded by Malik White, the senior for Providence. Trying to feed it inside to Drew Cobb as the foul situation starting to even itself out a bit here as Providence has picked up the last 3 fouls. Long Beach State has 7, and now Providence up to 4.
It's almost like boxers.
Excuse me, 5.
It's almost like boxers with styles of fight. You got the Big East intensity in the defense. They're reaching, they're grabbing, and right now the whistle's starting to catch up to the Friars as they've been whistled for some contact here.
Big East meeting Big West, and there is finally one going down for Long Beach State, and that ends a 5-minute and change drought. Trevor Irish snaps the streak, and now a steal, and Michael Carter III, back-to-back buckets for the Beach.
This is what we talked about. You see one shot go down, you get a steal on the other end, and just like that, got a little momentum going for the Beach.
And only down 4 points. Plenty of time here in the first half, 12 minutes to go. Eric Rothman here with Corey Williams and the Paycom Wooden Legacy. First game of 4 today on the ESPN family of networks from the Anaheim Arena. Wooden watch list member Alpha Diallo leading Providence this season. Feeding it inside to AJ Reeves. And a good follow by the freshman Greg Gant, who's had a nice first half.
That's been something the Friars have been missing as they blow the transition defense and give up a wide open look.
Max DeGeest, the freshman from New Zealand. Long rebound leading to a run out for AJ Reeves, the sophomore.
What a beautiful pass from Alpha Diallo. That's 3/4 court on the money, almost like a quarterback.
Diallo will pick up the assist. It's his second. Jordan Roberts swatted by Gant. How about the freshman Gant? And now an offensive foul as Malik White was there on the help side to draw the charge.
AJ Reeves making things happen, but there's the run out and the great pass as the Friars ahead early. Teams looking to right some wrongs that took place during Feast Week. Want to get back on the winning side of things.
What have you thought of Cassius Winston so far this season?
You know, it's funny. He's so solid and such a steady player, but the hype around him is so much. But he lives up to it, but at the same time, he still plays his game. I love watching him play. He's a thoughtful point guard. And that's what you want when you talk about a player at his level.
Just over 11 minutes to go here in the first half between Providence and Long Beach State. The Friars with a 16-8 advantage so far. Long Beach State struggling offensively, just 4 of 16. They drop into a 2-3 zone coming out of the break, and they leave AJ Reeves open. Missed 3-pointer. Providence 3 of 8 from 3 as Carter III got in, lost it, and underneath the cleanup job by freshman Joshua Morgan.
And E, this is how games change. A coach makes a decision to go zone, you get a stop plus a bucket, and now we're back to a 2 or 3 possession game, changing the tempo, showing defensive looks, and you've got a young squad out here making this happen.
Pipkins thought about a long 3 over that zone. Instead, will reset up top with 12 on the shot clock. Pipkins just inside the arc. Good defense by Long Beach State, and a loose ball picked up, and an easy bucket upcoming for Joshua Morgan, the freshman from Sacramento, and Providence now taking a timeout.
Talked about the experienced coaches. There you see Coach Munson putting his fingerprints on the game. Little zone, get 2 stops in a row followed by 2 buckets, and they're gonna take timeout to orchestrate their offense against the zone. But one thing about the zone, hands up, get in the passing lane, make things difficult. And right here, the Friars don't really find a solution, and a little bit of a sloppy play, forced shot, contested shot, they get the rebound, and they're off to the races.
It was Joshua Morgan who got his hands on the block and then was returned the favor with the easy slam. One of the 6 freshmen on this Long Beach State team. Great pass from another freshman, Max DeGeest from New Zealand. And so now all of a sudden Long Beach State down by 4, but we've already talked about it. They have no reason to be scared or intimidated by Providence given the teams they've already played in this early season. Arizona, St. Mary's, a ranked team, Stanford, San Diego, UCLA. That's another day in the park for Long Beach State.
Absolutely, trial by fire. Get out there, play whoever you have to play, learn something, get some footage to fall back on and learn.
Oh, what an alley-oop as Pipkins finds David Duke, the sophomore.
That was not Pipkins, that was Ed Cooley drawing that up out of the timeout. Cooley steps on the court.
But we can pretend like it's hockey and give Cooley the second assist.
Oh my goodness, out of the timeout, sets a play to help his guys calm down against the zone as they were turning it over.
Foul off the ball against Long Beach State on the offensive end.
You cannot get sealed on the backside against the zone. They rotate the ball. There you see the screen and just no communication, no ball pressure. Highlight reel slam as they get the easy two. Sometimes you got to go over the top against the zone.
And give credit, too, to Nate Watson, the center down low, who was screaming and yelling and drawing the attention of the Long Beach State defense, so nobody was paying attention to David Duke slashing underneath. Long Beach State staying in the zone. Under 10 minutes to go here in the first half. Pipkins at the elbow finds Watson underneath.
Right now the Friars doing a good job of starting to break down that zone. Ball movement and penetration are the keys.
2 great assists in a row from Lawan Pipkins. And how about that one-hand alley-oop finish, the freshman Joshua Morgan.
Oh, that was nasty right there. Great vision, but the freshman with the long arms.
Woo, 6'11", using every inch of it. Providence looking for their own alley-oop in response. DeGeest saving it from going out of bounds. Drew Cobb nowhere to go, so plenty of time on the shot clock. 10 as DeGeest was caught in the corner. Cobb again on the drive, and that is a strong take by Drew Cobb.
He had his mind made up that he was going all the way to the rack. Solid player, used his shoulder to keep the defender off of him.
First bucket of the game for Cobb. He's known really as a defensive specialist. Can score some points as well, as we saw a good take there. Long Beach State staying within 4.
Beach back in that man-to-man, making you think, making you change up your offensive sets.
Diallo feeds inside and 1 for the grad student Emmett Holt. Couldn't tell, was that the Bahamas or was that Southern California out there with the surfers, as we are here in Southern California. Blue water everywhere on Thanksgiving. 22-16 Providence on top of Long Beach State. It was a Long Beach State struggling offensively early on, but they've made 5 of their last 7 from the floor, mixing up the defensive looks a little bit and starting to get a little flow going on.
Getting a little flow, changing the defense. It's all about changing tempo. And what's remarkable to me, they haven't hit a 3-point shot and they haven't been to the free throw line, and they find themselves down 6.
Providence is at the free throw line. 8 minutes to go here in the first after the foul before the break on freshman Joshua Morgan. And Holt completes the 3-point play. He's got 6.
Right now for the Beach, their half-court offense has not been productive at all. Most of their buckets coming in transition.
Slater the drive, hesitation in the air, rebounded by Holt. Entry pass denied by Irish and a turnover. The Beach do look every time to get up and down the court quickly. Providence has gotten back pretty well on transition D as Michael Carter III hits the first 3-pointer of the game for the Beach.
Another one of those 5-second possessions for the Beach. They get the ball up the court. Little rocker step jumper, not the best shot in the world, but it goes down for their first 3-pointer of the game.
Alpha Diallo behind the defense for the 2-hand flush. Diallo, his 3rd point of the game. You saw Michael Carter III with the bucket and now the ball for Long Beach State, and he came out early with those 2 fouls. Since he returned, it's been a new Long Beach State. He's a real steady influence on not only the offensive end, but the defensive end as well. Oh, and Slater the turnover. 4-on-1. Watson missed the bunny. Diallo there for the second chance.
Well, that's two bad plays in a row by Slater. He misses the layup, and then he tries to split the trap and loses the ball. And the Friars are not the kind of team you can make those kind of mistakes against. Right here, too much traffic, and it leads to a 3-on-1, 4-on-1, 5-on-1. As all the Friars are back, they missed the initial, but get the putback. Good hustle, good transition for Providence, but the Beach kind of shooting themselves in the foot the last two possessions.
Well, it's easy to do against Providence given their defensive stats. Providence this season averaging 10 steals per game. That's 17th in the nation, as you see their head coach Ed Cooley, who led their Friars to an NCAA tournament appearance 5 years in a row. That 5-year streak snapped last year. Also the head coach of Team USA at the Pan Am Games, where he brought along 4 Friars players, so getting some international experience as well.
And he is all about intensity and defense and rebounding. And right now you're starting to see that. Second chance points, the Friars have 7. The Beach 0. That's just a hustle stat right there.
Providence, unsurprisingly, on top by 8 given those stats. But credit to Long Beach State, given how they came out the first 10 minutes of this game, very easily could have folded and gone away. But they have stuck with the program, and that is not only a reflection on their players, these young players wanting to learn, wanting to get better, but also on their head coach, Dan Munson, who's been around the block 13 years here at Long Beach State, and then another 10 years combined between Minnesota and Gonzaga.
And he's had talented teams. He's had teams that were kind of in the middle of the road, but no one knows how to get more out of his players. And Dan Munson knows how to do a lot, sometimes with a little. And when you talk about newcomers and freshmen and the learning curve, we've only got a couple of months until conference play starts. And there you see the goaltend, that's going to count.
A.J. Reeves calling for the goaltend, give the bucket to Drew Cobb.
Ball gets up to the glass, and there you see the contact. Nice display of hops, but it's going to count.
It's twice now we've seen Drew Cobb put his head down, drive to the bucket, and get a good result out of it. He's one of the upperclassmen on this team. He's a junior. Loose ball out of bounds will stay with Providence. And now some confusion with the shot clock. And we've talked, Corey, a lot about how Providence has played on the offensive end and defensively given Long Beach State some fits and taken advantage of the fact that Long Beach State is a inexperienced team. However, Providence is only up by 6. So you think they're surprised with that?
I think a little bit, because they've had to slow down and think. They saw a lot of man-to-man, then they saw zone for a few minutes, and now it's back to that aggressive man-to-man. But they've done a good job of swinging the ball. There you see the turnover as Pipkins puts a little too much on it all the way to the corner. Long Beach State has done an outstanding job of just irritating the Friars enough to get deflections and run down loose balls and be able to score buckets in transition.
It's a 6th turnover on Providence, a team who only averages 12 turnovers a game and is 11th in the nation in turnover margin. They're +8 against their opponents per game this season. So already halfway to their season average with under 6 minutes to go here in the first half. Diallo quiet with just 3 points. Chucks that alley-oop attempt off the backboard. 3-on-3 for the Beach. Hunter, spin cycle in the lane, off the glass and in for the leading scorer for the Beach.
Another transition bucket for Long Beach State. We talk about how they want to push and get the tempo going.
First bucket for Hunter, who's the leading scorer and rebounder for the Beach this season, averaging 15 and 5. Holt flashing underneath, good defense on the double team. 12 to shoot for White.
Friars need a bucket here, or at least a good shot. They've had 2 turnovers last 2 possessions.
White, no look, kick ball. And a foul underneath on Long Beach State.
One of those plays that looks like it's headed nowhere, but there's the spin, and he finds himself all alone at the 10. Easy 2 for Hunter.
And they need to get him involved more, given 15 points per game. The JUCO transfer from Cerritos College. He's a guy who can score. He's only had 2 field goal attempts in this game so far. Drop step for Holt, that's too easy. Missed defensive assignment there for the Beach. 8 points for Emmett Holt. Providence back up by 6. Loose ball, another turnover on Long Beach State, their 7th. Long three is good for Malik White.
Shot that from the NBA line, transition bucket. Malik White lines it up, knocks it down.
First bucket of the game for White. Providence 4 of 10 from 3. Mentioned the NBA line. There's actually 4 3-point lines on this court. It gets a little confusing. The white line is what we're looking at today. The far gold line is the NBA line that White just made from behind. 5 on the shot clock as Roberts missing.
Approaching that 4-minute mark of the first half. Coaches kind of point to this to finish strong. If you're the Friars, you want to continue to build on this lead.
Pipkins missing the 3. Roberts rips away the defensive rebound. Carter, hesitation, left-hand drive, and he will go to the free throw line with 3:36 to go here in the first.
Right now, Long Beach State pushing the ball, but a little tempo from the Friars as the 3, the kick, and the stick. It's Providence by 9.
2:23 with 3.5 minutes to go here in the first half. We take a look at our Paycom Wooden Legacy bracket. Next game on the docket, Wake Forest taking on the College of Charleston, and then this evening's doubleheader, UCF and Penn, and then Pepperdine against number 14 Arizona. That game on ESPN2 at 11 Eastern. Eric Rothman, Corey Williams here with you in Anaheim. You saw the Hollywood sign. That's either 30 minutes or 3 hours away, depending on traffic here in Southern California. Thanksgiving traffic is no joke here in LA.
They say everywhere in the valley is 45 minutes. Doesn't matter where you are.
Not on Thanksgiving.
Not on Thanksgiving. Okay.
No. All right. Michael Carter III is at the free throw line for Long Beach State. They have not been to the free throw line at all in this game. The first free throw goes down for Carter III, and we've seen, despite this young team for Long Beach State, they've been steadied here in this first half by a couple of guys with good experience. That's Michael Carter III, the transfer from Washington, who's technically a sophomore. And then Drew Cobb has really played well as off the bench, the junior from Sacramento.
And that's what you want to look at with younger players, is you want to establish some type of consistency. This is a team that was in McHale Center against the Arizona Wildcats last week, and it was a 5-point game at halftime. And then things got out of hand really quick in the second half, but they're capable of playing great stretches of basketball, and you want to extend that over a 35, 40-minute game.
Things got out of hand indeed. It was a 104-67 final. As a three-pointer goes down for Luan Pipkins, who now has 8 points to go along with his 4 assists and 3 rebounds. Michael Carter III took a seat on the bench for Long Beach State after his made free throw. He has 9 points. Slater. An offensive foul as Roberts lowered his shoulder. And Malik White, the senior, making a heady play.
Roberts had the jumper, but he didn't trust it, and he tried to force things and go to the lane. Trust your jumper, young man. Knock that down and get back on D. So right there, trying to do a little too much.
It was actually David Duke drawing the charge, so Roberts will take a seat on the bench with his 3rd personal foul. Corey, are you a little surprised that Long Beach State didn't stick with that zone defense longer?
A little bit. It did pay some dividends, but then they took a 3 and they got an alley-oop slam, and the Friars figured it out pretty quickly. Don't be surprised to see them go back to it.
Talked a lot about Long Beach State being battle-tested so far this season. 4 losses, but nothing to really put your head down about. UCLA, Stanford, St. Mary's, Arizona, 2 ranked teams, all power conference opponents, and with 9 newcomers on the roster for Dan Munson. Getting these tough games in and early. Learning experience for his squad as Hunter is fouled.
Well, the one thing for certain, you will not see that level of competition in conference play. So in terms of getting your team ready, there's a nice little flex play, back cut. Hunter has the presence of mind to get the defender in the air. But going back to that schedule, that's what you really want. Prepare your guys for conference play, because at the end of the day, all these teams want to finish well in their conference tournaments. They have a chance to do a little dancing in March.
One thing that Long Beach State, given their inexperience, can't afford to do is they can't afford to have their big-time scorers take games off. They need to have, as you talked about it, that steady influence. And Chance Hunter has been really, really quiet here in this first half. Just 3 points for Hunter. And he's the leading scorer on the team, averaging 15 per game. And they need him to be more active in the early going, especially against these top-tier opponents that they've been playing against.
You're 100% right, and how is the big question. When you come up against a team that's defensively scheming for you, how do you take it to the next level and still deliver those points and rebounds for your team like you always do? Sometimes you have to be able to do it a different way, and right there, comes up short at the free throw line.
Back-to-back missed free throws for Hunter. And a turnover underneath. Khalif Young arguing that he got pushed in the back, no whistle. And the 8th turnover on Providence. Again, they average, that's 9 turnovers. They average just 12 per game this season.
And by Coach Cooley's standards, a very sloppy first half. I'm certain he will address that at halftime, but the Friars' turnovers and empty possessions kind of allowing Long Beach State to hang around.
The Beach making a concerted effort to get this guy the ball more as he goes back to the free throw line for the 3rd straight possession. Foul underneath is on freshman Greg Gant. The 9th team foul on Providence, but 3rd possession in a row for Long Beach State that the pass has gone into Hunter and he's been able to get to the free throw line. Just hasn't been able to do anything when he gets there.
I'm not a huge fan of could-have-beens, but he knocks down some free throws. We're looking at a 1-possession game right now.
Instead, Hunter's just 1 for 4 from the stripe. 3 points total. Gant turns and faces the free throw line. 1:30 to play here in the opening half of the Wooden Legacy. 13th year of this great tournament, 8 teams this season.
Oh, the Friars so aggressive on the dribble handoff. It's almost like a trap.
Hunter off the mark, the southpaw missing the 3. Long Beach State just 1 of 6 from long range. Double team Khalif Young goes right over the top to East with the rebound, under a minute to play.
Impressed with the defensive scheme by Long Beach State. They're going to double the post, and they're still managing to control the defensive board. Usually you give up rebounding when you double big men.
Saved from going out of bounds by Khalif Young. 13-second difference between the game and the shot clock here as Providence hanging on to this 9-point advantage. The winner will play the winner of Wake Forest and the College of Charleston, which is our next game here in Anaheim. As a pull-up jumper by Malik White is good. 5 points for him in this first half. Final 15 seconds. Long Beach State wants to get something that resembles momentum going into the locker room. They haven't made a field goal in 5 minutes. Beautiful feed inside. DeGeese couldn't handle it. Underneath, Hunter cleans up the broken play. And maybe that will get their leading scorer going as Hunter finishes off the half with the bucket, as Providence on top 37-28 here in Anaheim. And after the break, it's the ESPN halftime report. Networks, another upset brewing, Corey. Michigan up 24 against North Carolina.
Wow, that is a shocker. I think a lot of people expect games to be close, but the Wolverines, I told you, it's Feast Week. You got to show up, you got to play.
Right outside of Disneyland. I know you're a Disney guy. Did you bring your Mickey Mouse ears on the trip this time?
I do not own Mickey Mouse ears.
I don't know.
But I do plan on hitting the park. I definitely am going to hit the park. Check out the new Star Wars.
Long Beach State with the basketball to start the second half. Eric Rothman here alongside Corey Williams. Closet Mickey Mouse ears owner. Romel Manziel will go to the free throw line, and this is something Long Beach State didn't do a lot of in that first half, and that's get to the free throw line.
That was a play drawn up how they wanted to start the half with the high post entry. Manziel went straight to the rack.
Just 6 free throw attempts in that first half for Long Beach State. Providence had 12. And Providence with that 9-point lead. It was as many as 11 at one point. Long Beach State had the first 2 buckets of the game, and then it was off to the races for Providence. Long Beach State has been playing catch up ever since. And they continue to struggle at the free throw line, just 3 of 8.
You combine that with 1 for 6 from behind the arc, and you can see the areas in which this game is getting away from them.
Excellent backdoor cut by Alpha Diallo, the senior, who's on the wooden watch list. Good seal inside. The freshman Joshua Morgan, who's had foul issues, starts the second half strong for Long Beach State.
That was a great reaction to a beautiful backdoor play by the Friars. Long Beach State to answer that with a quick bucket of their own.
Morgan now has 8 points. Pipkins draws the double, finds the open man. It's David Duke who drains the 3 in the corner.
That's textbook leadership from your point guard. Driving it all the way to the rim and making a great play.
Duke wants to get going on the offensive end. He's averaging 13 points per game this year, coming off the loss against Penn where he just had 2 points. He's got 5 here already in this one. Good steal. Diallo was there on the help side. Wide open. Duke on the run out. And a timeout taken by Long Beach State.
Coach Munson not wanting to see this game get away from him. Sees 2 bad plays, and the Friars getting out and getting after it. There's the back door for the jam, and then the turnover leads to the penetration, the swing out, and the knockdown 3.
Two run for Providence to start the second half, and they have their largest lead of the ball game against Long Beach State, out to 14 points. And Corey, you talked about Long Beach State's last game, the loss to Arizona, where they were down by 5 in that first half, and then in the second half outscored 66-34. So with Dan Munson calling a timeout right before the break, wanting to avoid that second half collapse against Providence here tonight.
Well, you got to be a team that can not only make a run, but not take a run. And the way you stay away from letting the game get away is you make buckets and you get stops. And right now, Long Beach State struggling on the offensive end, and the Friars have found an offensive rhythm.
14 assists on 18 made field goals for Providence. No surprise there. They average 20 assists per game. That's best. That's 3rd best in the nation. 10th turnover on Long Beach State leading to this possession. Diallo double team, kick out. Duke missing the 3. He's had 5 straight points for Providence, nearly had 8 as the ball goes out of bounds in favor of the Beach. But again, on the offensive end, same situation, Corey, that it was in the opening of the first half when Providence went on that big run. Is Long Beach State just looking for somebody to take control on the offensive end.
Yeah, and right now, it's kind of offense by committee, and everyone's shot is not falling. So that makes it even worse when everybody's a little bit off. You have 4 or 5 possessions where you don't get any points. And against a team like Providence, that's just not going to work.
David Duke picks up his 2nd foul for the Friars. Hunter in the corner. He's been quiet, just 5 points. He's the leading scorer this season for the Beach. Wide open for 3. Airballs it. Long Beach State, 1 of 7 from 3. Pipkins for 3. That one rattles home.
3-pointer for the one Pipkins, 3-point basket.
11 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists for Luan Pipkins. Mel Manziel back to the basket, baby hook. Follow up by Morgan, bounces off the heel. A 10-2 run over the last 3 minutes for the Friars. Diallo lost it going up. Carter versus Pipkins. Carter wins it easily.
And Long Beach State's going to have a whole lot more of that to chip away at this lead and try to climb back into this contest, as they've come out in the first 4 or 5 minutes of the second half, and it's been all Friars.
11 points now for Michael Carter III, the transfer from Washington. Duke got a little ahead of himself, but bailed out by the whistle. A block underneath on Michael Carter III. That's his 3rd personal foul.
That's a tough call. I thought he did enough here to get the offensive foul. He's just standing there and kind of gets knocked over. That'd have been a great no call, if not a charge, but the officials see it the other way, which they never saw it my way when I was a player, so why would it ever change?
There's a complaint box in the back if you want to file.
Like 25-year-old complaints.
That's the last time they checked the box, too.
Yep. Never seen an official change his call.
No. David Dukes had the hot hand in the second half. This time the assist on the feed to Emmett Holt.
Starting to see some things that weren't happening in the first half. Breakdown defensively, no rotation. The Friars picking apart the defense.
You have to be happy for Emmett Holt, who's transferred over and basically missed the past 2 seasons, sat out 2 years ago, and then only played 6 games last year with, oh my goodness, how about Romel Manziel, the reverse dunk.
Made that look so easy.
He did. And he gets the rebound on the other end.
They've got numbers.
Carter takes it himself, tied up, and he'll go to the free throw line.
And right now in the second half, it's the Friars that are rolling. The penetration and the strong finish. As the Friars looking to send a message here in Feast Week. They're up big here in the second half.
ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Hampton by Hilton. Saturday, 7 Eastern on ESPN. Just over 15.5 minutes to go here in the second half. Game 1 of 4 today. Opening round of the Paycom Wooden Legacy. Eric Rothman alongside Corey Williams. Providence on top by 15. Too shy of what was their 17-point largest lead of the game moments ago, as Michael Carter III is at the free throw line. And so far on the offensive end, although it's been stagnant, Corey, the combination of Carter and Morgan have gone 8 for 12 from the floor. The rest of the team, just 7 of 23.
And that's the problem on a whole right there. You got to have guys show up and knock down shots. They had a cold streak in the first half, but they were able to get some transition buckets to tighten it up. But here in the second half, the shooting woes continue. They haven't been productive at the free throw line. They've got to rely on their defense and get some stops. You cannot trade buckets down 13.
Prior to those 2 makes from the line, they were just 3 of 8, now 5 of 10. Well, 3/4 court pickup by Long Beach State. Max de Geest back into the game, the freshman from New Zealand for the Beach. He's up guarding David Duke.
And here's that zone look again from Long Beach State.
Pipkins goes right over the top. Manziel the rebound. Roberts wildly turns it over. Turnover number 11 on the Beach. Can't afford to give away possessions if you're Long Beach State. Pipkins tries again. Spins out. Good save by Diallo, but now it's going to lead to numbers for the Beach. Cobb pushing. Ball fake, Euro step, nice move.
Solid move right there by Cobb. He wasn't giving that ball up. He knew the whole way he was going. That's 3 stops in a row by the Beach. See if they can capitalize on this possession.
Roberts having issues just holding on to the basketball. Manziel, ISO on Holt. Roberts at the elbow, got bopped in the face, and a foul on Providence.
Providence foul is on 11, elbow.
No one out ahead. As soon as Cobb gets this ball, he's got all eyes on the rim. He looks up. This is a beautiful set of moves right there. That 1-2 Euro step. Credit Manu Ginobili
Well, he's touted as a defensive specialist. Guy doesn't score a whole lot. He's got 6 today. His season average is 5. All 6 of those buckets have come on 3 really nice drives to the basket. It's a surprise they don't work him into the offense a little bit more.
Everything to the rim with Cobb. There you see the lazy pass, and now it's the Friars out on the break.
White, no whistle, a lot of contact. Pipkins will reset. It was Roberts who turned it over. He's had trouble over the last few possessions just getting a handle on the basketball. Duke, baseline. Either the rim blocked him or Romel Manziel blocked him. Either way, here come the Beach. It's Cobb again, this time with the left hand.
And that's the 4th defensive stop in a row for the Beach as they cut the lead to 9. This zone defense paying some dividends, and now they're switching back to their man-to-man.
8-0 run here for the Beach. Missed layups, turnovers. Helping out the cause for the Beach. There's Manziel, help side defense. 10 to shoot for White, who was left open. And a foul over the back will be on Emmett Holt.
Right now, Long Beach State showing some signs of life on the defensive end. And sometimes all you have to do is get position. Here's the shot. It's going to come up short, but you hold your position. There's the over-the-back call. Ball to Long Beach State.
He replaces Gallant Pipkins.
Providence has missed their last 7 field goals as Emmett Holt picks up his 2nd personal foul. 17-point lead now trimmed down to 9.
And when your shot is not falling, if you're the Friars, you need to focus on your defense. You know, just because you have a shooting drought doesn't mean you start to give up buckets. And right now, they want to get back to that aggressive man-to-man defense they played in the opening 5 minutes, try to create some turnovers.
Here's Cobb again. 5 field goals in a row for the Beach. This time it's Chance Hunter.
And you wonder if that's the bucket that's going to get Hunter going, because sometimes it's not how you play, it's when you play. He hasn't been effective all game, and right there, that's a big bucket to cut this to a 7-point lead.
He's got 7 points now. Good defense by Manziel, but he is whistled for the personal as Nate Watson will go to the free throw line.
And that's a good possession right there for the Friars. Get the ball inside, force the issue, get to the free throw line, and you get a chance to set your defense.
They really hadn't gone inside for a while as they've dropped to 7 of 18 from 3-point range. So a good reset, as you just mentioned, going to the big junior, Nate Watson from Portsmouth, Virginia. Missed the first 4 games of the season, returned 2 games ago. And he's averaging 9 points per game this year. He's a guy who adds a lot of depth on the interior, a guy who was highly touted coming out of high school with offers from Kansas and North Carolina, among others, from Bishop O'Connell High School in Washington, D.C. We've seen this team likes to play on the perimeter, and having him as an option after being out the first 4 games really anchors them down low.
Yeah, and we see this all the time. We'll continue to see it. Teams fall in love with the 3-point shot. They fall in love with the outside shot. And the bigs are like, hey, man, can I get a touch?
Hunter on the baseline, missed it. A reset, Cobb, shimmy shake, double team. Tried to force it inside, Manziel corrals it, blocked and fouled.
Boy, Hunter had everything he wanted on that baseline drive, couldn't come up with it, but the Beach sticking with it. Cobb tries to make a difficult pass, but then they got a fortunate bounce. Manziel gets it, spins, and he gets hacked. He'll go to the line, but the free throw line has not been a friend to Long Beach State.
Just 5 of 10 from the free throw line here in this game. They miss another one. And then not only does it hurt your comeback effort, but over the past 5 minutes, it's been all Long Beach State momentum-wise, and it just kills your momentum to miss those free throws.
You do the right things, you hustle, you get the ball into scoring position, you make the defense foul you. You've got to follow through on that final step. Make your free throws, cash in on those opportunities.
7-point game, Providence on top. They led by as many as 17.
Back to the zone, almost forced a turnover right there.
The heads-up play by Diallo to keep it alive for the Friars. Duke steps into a 3. Bricks that one badly. Nobody in front of him. Here comes Cobb. Hunter puts it on the deck. Jump hook is good, and now Chance Hunter's getting himself pumped up.
He misses the easy ones, but then he makes the difficult floater in the lane as you see the timeout. Long Beach State making a comeback. They call them the Beach, and right now they are making it happen at the Wooden Legacy. 13-1 run. The Beach is in the building.
Long Beach State looking for their guide to an upset, and Corey Williams, maybe the guide to an upset is play zone defense and generate some turnovers.
That seems to be the formula right now. In the man-to-man, they're getting picked apart, but when they go zone, they hide a few players, and they've been able to rebound out of that zone and coming out of the timeout back to the man-to-man just to throw off anything that Providence drew up in their huddle. They went back to man-to-man just probably for this one possession.
Long Beach State out rebounding Providence 26-25. Slip inside, Watson. Kick out in the corner, three is good. A.J. Reeves, the sophomore.
And that is big time right there by A.J. Reeves. They needed that bucket. They worked hard, they got a clean look, and they knocked it down.
8 of 20 from 3 for Providence. And they get a turnover. Malik White, the steal and the finish.
Steal and a slam for Malik White.
Carter the third, trying to stop the bleeding. Quick possession for Long Beach State. 5-0 run out of the timeout and a travel on Reeves, who got a little too excited.
Right now you're looking at the Friars. This is what they did. Ball movement, rotate, in the corner. That's a 3-ball, nice shot. And then at the other end, the sneaky come from behind steal. The breakaway puts a little flash, little flair on the dunk there. No style points, just a little bit.
10-point advantage for Providence. Hunter flashing in the paint. The defense by Diallo. Stole it away. And a foul on the Beach.
Boy, you see the strength of Diallo right there. He held his ground on the block, couldn't be moved, and at the right moment reached in and just took the ball away from Hunter.
Diallo, who has had a relatively quiet game offensively, just 7 points, has not let that deter him. He's done well on the defensive end and facilitating the basketball offensively as well.
Well, they've had a lot of players stepping up, knocking down shots. He hasn't had to go one-on-one. Like we said, the zone defense kind of puts you in a situation where you have to share the ball. Make no mistake, he's their go-to guy, but he's done a great job as a senior of recognizing when to take his shots. He's not forcing anything.
Reeves again. There's Diallo on the offensive glass. Reeves over top of the Long Beach State big men for the tip follow.
The Providence Friars have answered the bell in terms of intensity. There you see the senior on the rebound and putback. And there you see 3 black jerseys in there trying for that offensive rebound, and the nice tip in. Right there, the Beach get caught ball watching. Nobody blocks out. Got to put a body on someone.
Nine second chance points for Providence, just 1 for Long Beach State. Carter missed the free throw and then throws it up to nobody in particular. He was hoping for Morgan to come up for an alley-oop. Morgan was not aware of that. So another giveaway.
Long Beach State just struggling at the free throw line, doing everything they can to get put in good situations, but just leaving a lot of money on the table at the line.
Reeves underneath, got his own rebound. White for 3. Offensive board, but a foul, push off by Watson. He better be careful, slamming the basketball down. This refereeing crew, Terry Weimer, Les Jones, KB Burdett Jr. has done a nice job tonight.
Right here, you're gonna see the forearm in the back, and there's a little bit of a shove, just enough to get the rebound, and the crazy thing is was he didn't have to do it. The ball was gonna come off long, but it came right to him.
Morgan to the free throw line. The freshman has been impressive with 8 points in this game.
He's got great touch. Love his athleticism. He is going to be a sensational player.
6'11" from Sheldon High School in Sacramento. one of 6 freshmen on the squad for Long Beach State, 9 newcomers, as well as 3 guys who redshirted last year. They have gotten a ton of experience here early on, playing Providence today, Arizona, St. Mary's, Stanford, UCLA, have a win against a good San Diego team. Down by 10, under 10. Here against Providence at the Paycom Wooden Legacy. Diallo got bumped, and that's Hunter who will be called for the personal. It's his second.
14 fouls now on Long Beach.
4th team foul of the half on Long Beach State. Good job by Providence, Corey, both in the first half and here in the second half, weathering these comeback attempts from the beach and not deviating from the game plan.
No, it was a tight game, and they got a 3, and they got a breakaway dunk and bought some breathing room, and there's another triple that goes up.
Morgan, a long rebound out to Hunter. He's all alone, doesn't have numbers, waits for the trailing Carter, flips it up ahead to Morgan, who got the rebound at one end and the two-hand slam on the other.
The Beach are at their best in transition. There you see another 5 or 6 second bucket from the rebound to the bucket. It doesn't take them long to figure it out.
12 points now for Morgan. Reeves stepped on the sideline, could have been a travel either way.
Watch the shot clock here. You've got 30 seconds. There's the outlet. We're looking at 2 dribbles, 2 passes, and a bucket. Folks, that's 6 seconds. 6 seconds of offense for Long Beach State. And they get the high percentage shot from the big fella with the jam. Plenty of time left in this game. If they can continue to have some effect on the defensive end, they can claw their way back into this.
Turnover number 13 on Providence. That's 1 above their season average. And Long Beach State gives it right back.
Manziel's got to take that. He had the one-on-one against Diallo, had the huge size advantage, and decided to swing the ball. But he was the mismatch. He took his time, backed him down, tried to score.
More like Johnny Manziel on that play.
Threw that to the scorer's table.
Max DeGeest heads back to the bench. Jordan Roberts back in. Last time he was on the floor had issues holding on to the basketball. We'll see if he got some stickum on his hands.
See if Providence can create the overload situation. There was a trip up, should have been a foul.
I think it was, you know what, Corey? I really think it was a clean steal by Michael Carter, and then Pipkins kind of turned around and fell on his own. We might have to take a look at that replay. I thought it looked clean, at least from my view.
I'm used to the officials not agreeing with, but you, come on.
I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
I want to see a replay before I commit.
The zone paying some dividends, causing some confusion out front. There's the senior Diallo on the move, and he makes a tough basket in the lane.
Just muscles it up there, lost it going up. Morgan couldn't hang on to the outlet pass from Carter. All right, we'll take a look at it. Do you believe Corey or do you believe me? Trip or steal?
Got to be smart out front, handling the ball. There's the screen. He tries to split the double. Oh, you're right. That's a clean stumble and the breakaway for the Beach.
For 6, North Carolina goes down. Providence on top of Long Beach State, 59-51 here at the Paycom Wooden Legacy in Anaheim, California. Providence up 8, and they've led the majority of this game, Corey, but Long Beach State has had their opportunities.
They really have. You know, you take out the fact that they're 1 for 8 from downtown and 8 of 15 at the line, and it's a 7-point game with a little under 8 minutes remaining. You got to feel like Long Beach State has done everything they could to be in this game. It's not really about Providence. It's just been about their execution.
Elbow jumper. Carter misses everything, goes out of bounds, as Long Beach State has made 8 of their last 11 from the floor to claw back into this one after trailing by as many as 17. 7.5 minutes to play here in the second half. Eric Rothman, Corey Williams with you at the Anaheim Arena, the 13th annual Wooden Legacy Tournament. Game 1 of 4 today. Wake Forest and the College of Charleston up next in the early session. Their defense in the low post by the Beach.
Great defense right there, reacting to the ball, See if they can make something happen on the offensive end, but they turn it over.
Turnover number 17. Holt tracks down the long pass. Diallo mid-range jumper is good.
And there you see the silky smooth senior. Steady hand, knocking down the jumper, trying to keep this space that they've created with a 10-point lead.
Feed inside Morgan to Manziel. Foul before the shot against Providence.
Right here, they tell you don't save it under your own bucket, but right there, there's the effort that leads to the run out. And at the other end, the senior says, I'll take that 15-footer. That's easy cash money for Alpha Diallo.
Diallo, preseason first team All-Big East, is the leading scorer, rebounder, assist man last year for Providence, and started out strong so far this year, averaging 14 and 9. He's got 11 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists in this game. Providence up by 10. We don't want to look too far ahead, but how about the field next year for Feast Week here in Anaheim? Georgetown, Kansas, UCLA, Virginia. The Paycom Wood and Legacy 2020 teams just announced the other day.
Hey, we're not coaches or players. We don't have to take it 1 week at a time. We can look ahead to what's going to happen here next season. A great field. Looking forward to some great games.
The referee's taking a look at the monitor, trying to determine who the last foul was on. So stopping play for a moment here, 6:47 to go.
There's the high-low, and the hands in the back gets the defender in the air.
It should be on Greg Gant, the freshman. That'd be his 3rd foul if it is confirmed. It is. Gant, the only freshman who's gotten significant playing time this season for Providence. A lot of experience on this Friars team, unlike Long Beach State. Romel Manziel at the free throw line for the Beach, one of 6 freshmen. Unsurprisingly, Corey, you look at his volleyball, or his body. He played volleyball in high school. Get up underneath, but misses yet another free throw as the Beach back in that zone defense. Diallo head fake. Good ball movement by Providence. Duke got a little too fancy.
Great rotation there by Long Beach State as they move well in reaction with the zone. Like you say, with a young team like this, the defensive fundamentals may not be there yet for man-to-man, but that zone has paid huge dividends for them here in this game. And Coach Munson keeping it in his back pocket till he really needs it here in the second half. Doesn't want to let Providence get too familiar with it early in the game, but right now, as we enter the final 6 minutes, I'm pretty sure they're going to stick with that zone.
15th turnover on Providence. It's against that zone defense of Long Beach. 3 over their season turnovers per game average, which came into this game at 12 for Providence. Cobb backs in, good touch off the heel, and a foul on the rebound against Long Beach State.
I know Cobb would love to have that one back. He got everything he wanted. Big, strong guard on the block, one-on-one, just couldn't get it to drop. And it's been plays like that that have kept the Beach from getting over the hump.
5th foul of the half on Long Beach State, the 3rd for Josh Morgan. Pipkins pulls up for 3. Loose ball, offensive rebound, and a reset.
Big possession here for the Friars. Done a good job of hitting the glass, and here they get an extra possession. And with the new rule, shot clock goes to 20 seconds, so they've got to get something up here soon.
It's already down to 3. Pipkins reverses course on the baseline. Holt blocked in a shot clock violation. Joshua Morgan gets the block before the buzzer sounded.
And the Friars ran out to that nice lead early, but they've struggled. There you see the timing. Little volleyball action right there.
Learn something from Manziel, the volleyball high school player. You mentioned the offensive rebound resetting to the 22nd shot clock. I know you're not a big fan of that, Corey.
Not really. I mean, I'm playing in an era where you have to box out and get the defensive rebound, and it's almost like you're rewarding poor defense. If you don't box out, you deserve to be punished with another 30 seconds of playing D and another 30 seconds of offense. Why should the defense be rewarded for giving up an offensive rebound? I know they're trying to increase the pace of play, but for a coach, you want your guys to box out. I'm from the era where you give up an offensive rebound, you run sprints the next day in practice. So right now, to see these guys get almost a defensive advantage in a way.
And to get to practice, you had to go uphill in the snow.
Well, we don't want to start on that. But yeah, it was all that stuff, all that stuff.
It was that really cold winter down there in Arizona.
It's like, you know, congratulations, offense. You got an offensive board. Oh, guess what? You can't run out the clock. You got to hurry up a little bit. Not a lot, but a little.
I see your point.
Well, I'm glad you finally agree with me.
Well, I didn't say I agree with you. I said I see your point. It's to play here in regulation. Duke and Pipkins up top. Loose ball. Gant tracks it down. Bodied off the window, and Gant will go to the free throw line. Been really impressed, Corey, with Greg Gant. He's got 5 points now going to the free throw line. You see him track down the loose ball here, going to the basket strong, taking the contact, and on a team where classmen, a lot of guys who have defined roles over many years at a program, it can be tough for a freshman to come in and carve out a niche for himself, but he's done a good job.
Well, he's done an outstanding job because he basically stays active, and that's the one thing coaches always talk to players about. We don't have to run plays for you. If you're active and aggressive, good things are going to happen during the basketball game. And when you look at Gant, that's exactly what his game is. He's aggressive, he has a great athletic body, but he has a very good motor. Always in the mix, always making stuff happen.
He's smart, too, as a valedictorian at Trinity High School in Fayetteville, North Carolina. So bring some IQ to the hard court. 4.5 minutes. Foul up top, Pipkins. A little too handsy with Michael Carter III. Pipkins called for his third personal. And it's been really feast or famine for Long Beach State, Corey. Right now they're in the midst of 3 minutes and 46 seconds without a field goal. And we've seen them go on runs of 10, 12 points and then follow it up with going quiet for 4 or 5 minutes at a time.
Yeah, and the zone defense has been solid for them over the last 10 minutes or so, but just offensively they've struggled. They've missed free throws, they've had turnovers.
Turnovers have been key. 17 turnovers for Long Beach State. Missed free throws haven't helped either. Now 10 of 20 from the free throw line, 11 of 21. Full court defense for Long Beach State, trying to get some momentum in their direction. Running out of time. Providence executing the press break nicely. Five on the shot clock. Pipkins to the lane. Floats one up. Loose ball. Rebound for Morgan. Outlet to Cobb. One-on-one with Duke, and Cobb kicks it out of bounds.
You want dunks? We got them. The reverses, the slams, the jams. Feast week. Everybody taking it to the rim here. Providence still with the lead.
2:54, Providence on top of Long Beach State. Under 4 minutes to go here in regulation in our opening game of the Paycom Wooden Legacy. Take a look at the bracket for this 8-team tournament. Coming up on ESPN News in Game 2, it's Wake Forest and Charleston, slated for 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific. And then tonight, UCF and Penn, and Pepperdine, Arizona, the doubleheader. Starting off on ESPNU, Roxy Bernstein and John Crispin will be with you for those two games. And where will we be, Corey? You got a turkey for me? Some stuffing?
Go to They had to get a burger or something. I'm not paying for a turkey and all that. Are you crazy? I don't even know you can go to a restaurant and order turkey. Never really seen it on the menu.
Well, I would assume this is the one day a year you could get it, right?
Maybe. We'll take, we'll Google it and see what happens.
I just want some green bean casserole. That's all I'm looking for.
You should have came to the banquet last night. We had the green bean casserole out there.
I wish. I missed it. I heard you did a great job hosting. I got a chance to host the banquet a couple years ago.
It's a lot of fun.
Family Feud.
Oh, yeah. It's some really strange answers from these guys. I know we got some valedictorians out there, but some of these guys, their answers are a little crazy.
Well, you got to think on your feet in Family Feud. 4 on the shot clock. Pipkins, extra pass. Holt got it away. Didn't hit the rim in the shot clock violation.
Wow, Long Beach State again with another defensive stop. The Friars did an outstanding job of breaking down the zone. They just couldn't convert.
Long Beach State course still within striking distance, down by 8. They need to get some momentum going on the offensive end, some consecutive possessions without a turnover.
Yeah, and it's go time right now for Hunter. He's got to make something happen as one of the key offensive players. There you see the fadeaway doesn't drop. He and Cobb have the ability to score buckets. Someone's got to do something fast. We're inside of 3 minutes.
And Providence has done a good job of milking time off the clock, too.
Well, they're a patient team. They're solid. They've gotten away from the turnovers. Just as I say that, there's the turnover.
Carter rejected by David Duke. It's Thanksgiving, and he brought the stuffing.
Ah, I see what you did there. Very clever, but this is what you call don't give up on a play. You don't step to the ball. You give a turnover. You hustle back. A little souvenir for the cheerleaders and staff out there on the press row. Get that out of here. Not in the holiday spirit.
No, it's not very friendly. Third block of the game for Providence.
Can the Beach capitalize after the stop?
You go back to Hunter with the left hand. Friendly roll.
Finally gets one to drop, and we've got a 2 or maybe 3 possession game. Inside of 2 minutes, there's the trap just to change the tempo. And Pipkins is really the key for them offensively against this pressure, against this zone. He sees everything, but there's the offensive foul, the moving screen, yet another stop for Long Beach State. The dribble handoff, you cannot turn your back and keep moving. He tries to sell the call to the official, but he's having none of that. Ball to the Beach. A bucket here would make things very, very interesting.
19 turnovers for Providence, 7 above their season average, has led to 21 points off turnovers for Long Beach State. Hunter, give and go, the left hand, falls in.
Even his made buckets look like they shouldn't go in, but he gets the kind roll on 2 plays in a row, and now here we are, a 4-point game. Coach Ed Cooley wants to talk it all over.
14 points for Hunter, and Long Beach State is down by 4. They're in the middle of a 6-0 run.
We talked about Hunter having to find a way. There's the give and the go, and the nice give and go. A little bit of contact there, good no call as Hunter drops it down. Got to stay active, keep moving. Scorer's mentality.
And you see the difference, Corey, for this Long Beach State offense when it flows through Hunter. Well, whether he's shooting well or not, he's really turned his game around here in the second half. Now he's up to 6 for 11 from the floor. He struggled in that first half, but when they have the first entry pass to him and he's able to get something going, it really eases the tension for the rest of the offense.
Absolutely. When you talk about shooters, you always have to tell them, hey, you're going to shoot your percentage. So if you start off cold, don't stop. Keep going, because no matter what, a shooter is going to shoot his percentage. And right now, he started off in the hole, but he's climbed back up to that 40-50% mark because he stayed with it.
No, you're absolutely right. He came into the game shooting 54% from the floor, 6 of 11. He's right around there here today.
Right now, if you're the Beach, just play solid defense. No gambling, no risks. You climb back into this game.
That's a bad foul. Away from the ball, Hunter on the inbound.
Long Beach fouls on 31.
That will send Providence to the free throw line in the bonus.
It's the 18th foul on Long Beach.
And now Hunter will have to go to the bench, his 5th foul.
And that is very big for Long Beach State. To lose him and what he's been able to contribute in the last few minutes down the stretch, they're going to have to try to manufacture some offense. Here's the call. Hunter's out top. It's just a little rub. Not a whole lot there for a 5th foul.
Yeah, that's tough.
I got to agree with Hunter. Let him play.
So Long Beach State losing their leading scorer. Hunter ends with 14 points. Duke at the free throw line. So now Long Beach State in their comeback effort are going to have to rely on Michael Carter III, who's out there with 17 points. And then the freshman, Joshua Morgan, who's running a career high, 12 points, 9 rebounds, career high for both of those categories. So one of those two guys is going to have to step up, and maybe Cobb, although not known for his shooting, has done a good job getting to the rim here in this game.
And they have to respect the Geist. He can shoot the ball. Make sure you find him and don't leave him on the court.
Cobb with the left-hand drive, caught in the air. Roberts pulls up. That one goes down. Silky smooth for Jordan Roberts.
Jordan Roberts has passed up that open jumper and put the ball on the deck all night long, and right there it pays off. Passes up the 3, takes the nice floater. It's great body control. But right here, you talk about getting caught in the air with nowhere to go. He finds him at the last second. Nice little step through pull up.
First bucket of the game for Jordan Roberts.
And a big one, as they're going to call a timeout and try to huddle up and devise a way to get a stop here. Down 4, plenty of time on the clock.
You mix it up defensively, slip back into that zone if you're Long Beach State?
Well, you got to be careful because you're shooting on all fouls now, so you really don't want to give them free throws if you can avoid it. So you want to play solid D. You know they're going to run the clock down a little bit, and you may get the ball back with a minute to go. But if you get a stop, you get it back with a minute to go, down 4, hopefully, if you're, Long Beach State. That's not a bad situation. So solid D, no fouls is what I'd be screaming in the timeout.
On the other end for Providence, they have not had a field goal in 5.5 minutes. What do they need to do here?
Every whistle is free throw, so do not be scared. Don't be timid. Take the ball, be strong, attack the rim. You do not need a contested jump shot. You need a post move or a penetration in a dish, something that's going to be highly effective. Don't settle for a contested jump shot. Be aggressive.
They've got a lot of options, guys who are confident handling the basketball. It starts right there with number 12, Luan Pipkins. But Diallo, Malik White, David Duke, all guys who are comfortable handling the ball up top if need be.
And quite honestly, it's senior time, Let Alpha Diallo create something for your team, regardless of whether it's zone or man-to-man. He's the guy you want to react with the ball. It's a little bit of pressure. They don't turn it over.
Good trap defense there. Pipkins had it knocked out of his hands, out of bounds.
This type of situation, minute 30 to go, there's two kinds of players in college basketball. Guys that run to the basketball, guys that run away from it. And right now, we already know Alpha Diallo is running to the ball. He wants the ball in his hands.
Go take a look at the monitor. I assume to see how much time came off the clock, or maybe to see if indeed it was off of Long Beach State.
There's the ball and the pass to the corner.
Tough to tell.
It's tough to tell. It looks like Munson has thrown the challenge flag. And try to review this.
It's either Carter or Pipkins. Carter was the hand over the top of Pipkins. I just don't know if you're going to have enough from these angles that we've seen. The cameras are all on the far side of where they were. I just don't think there's going to be enough.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they overturn or change the call. But right there, not a whole lot to see. Question is, does it go off his left hand as he's trying to reach for the ball?
It's that second reach, the left hand from Pipkins, and maybe you could say it touched, but Munson smiling, standing at the scorer's table trying to argue his case. Referees Terry Weimer, Les Jones, KB Burdett Jr. done a really nice job in this game.
And this is a big call right here.
Providence basketball.
Ball stays with the Friars, not surprised there.
Referees didn't see anything conclusive in which they could overturn it. So a minute and a half to go. Providence basketball up by 4.
Key thing right here for the Friars, react to the pressure, be strong, but don't be sped up and forced into a quick shot or a poor shot. You want to beat the pressure, you want to be strong with the ball, but you don't have to shoot quick.
Colin Slater back out there for Long Beach State during the break. Slater goes in for the steal, and he got it. How about Colin Slater off the bench?
Want to get the ball to Cobb. There we go. Little spread. Try to get something going to the rim. Plenty of time in a 4-point game.
Freshman Morgan. Inside to Cobb, under 10 to shoot. Cobb backing in on Duke, not giving an inch. Up top, Carter for 3. Banks it in!
And why not, E? Why not? They have shot horribly from 3-point range all night, and right there, a bank shot falling down. We've got a 1-point game. And we've got...
Oh, they call it on Long Beach State. They call it on Cobb. It looked like a push-off on Pipkins, instead a foul on Cobb. And Dan Munson can't believe it, having to be restrained by his assistant coaching staff.
I am right along there with him. He's got the hands out.
Oh,
he gets
he
pushed.
The arm
that
too.
is a charge, player control, a blown call by the officials.
Wow.
That is so obvious there.
Technical foul being assessed to Long Beach State to make matters worse.
Wow, what a situation there. There you see the rule change. They are trying to discourage players from flopping, but there you clearly saw the arm was extended, the contact was made, the offensive player pushed off. I just don't see it that way.
Well, yeah, and I also don't remember when the initial flop at any point during this game was called against Long Beach State. It's the second flop, and they're telling us that there was one called in the first half. Regardless, a missed call. That should have been an offensive foul against Providence. Instead, they get the technical free throw and the basketball with 46 seconds to go after what was just the second 3-point make for Long Beach State in this game.
Long Beach State still has to recognize it's a 2-point game. They've come back down from down double digits. They just need to get a stop, and they're still in business. Friars want to be physical. They want to be aggressive. Like we said earlier, get to the rim, cause some contact. They've had a turnover on the last possession.
12 on the shot clock. Holt picked up his dribble, and he threw it away. Michael Carter III pulls up, didn't have numbers. Over to Slater for the lead. Tip follow, no. Morgan fighting for it underneath. And David Duke comes out with it, 20 seconds to play.
They've got to commit a foul, and that probably is not who they wanted to foul. The senior, Diallo, will step to the line, but you're Long Beach State. You got everything you wanted. You got a very shaky cross-court pass just stolen. And then within a few seconds, a wide open look from 3. They couldn't knock it down. Even had a chance at the offensive rebound there from Cobb, but good possession for the Beach. Now Diallo can try to put this game out of reach.
60% free throw shooter, 1 of 2 tonight. Long Beach State hasn't led since it was 4-3. Diallo misses the front end. 15 seconds, a 2 to tie, 3 to win it for Long Beach State.
I gotta think they're gonna go for the win.
Carter looks at the clock, 5 seconds to go. Pulls up for 3, lips out, but a foul! Michael Carter is going to the line to shoot 3.
And why not? It's a 2-point game. You've come from so far behind. Leave it all out there. Go for the win. Gutsy call. And he pulls up. Sells it a little bit. Not a lot of contact there.
Holt undercuts him.
Now, I'm going to be fair, E. That's 2 questionable calls down the stretch.
1 for each team.
There you go.
So now Carter can take the lead at the free throw line, where Long Beach State has been awful in this game. 11 of 20. Carter himself, however, 6 of 7. First one in.
I gotta tell you, he knocks this one down. You might want to count the third. And then the question is for Long Beach, if they find themselves up one, can they defend without fouling? This is going to be a great finish.
What a comeback. Long Beach State trailed by as many as 17. Providence had been in control of this entire game. We talked about the lack of free throws, the lack of three-point shots going down, but Michael Carter III has done both of those things, putting this team on his back down the stretch.
And that's where their fortunes changed right there. The bank shot three, and then you see it right here, falling down, shot clock winding down off the glass, and the whole bench is up. The crowd here got into the game at that point, and then the missed free throw by Diallo set the table for what could be one of the biggest plays of the night. The three free throws.
Michael Carter III, 21 points, 6 of 10 from the floor, 3 assists. He's been out there with foul trouble nearly the whole game. He picked up 2 quick fouls in the first half, had to take a seat, and then came back in midway through the first half and really hasn't looked back.
And let's be honest, E, when Chance Hunter went to the bench with his 5th foul, a lot of people thought, well, there goes the offense, but Michael Carter III has stepped up big time, and he'll be focusing on these next 2 free throws.
Both teams, Corey, out of timeouts. So keep that in mind for Providence once they get control of the basketball, if on the rebound or a make. So Carter has 2 more free throws upcoming. This one would tie the game. The 82% free throw shooter coming up in the clutch.
And that's ice water right there. That ball didn't even touch any rim at all. Nothing but net.
And now for their first lead since the game was 4-3 in favor of Long Beach State in the opening couple minutes. Michael Carter III hits all 3 free throws, and Long Beach State is up by 1. Romel Manziel checks in on the defensive substitution for the Beach. 3 seconds to win it for Providence.
You've got to get an entry pass at least to midcourt, maybe 1 dribble and a shot, maybe enough time for a good long pass, then a second pass.
It's David Duke to inbound. Midcourt, Holt flips it to Duke. 1 second to go. Duke, the floater. Oh no, off the glass and falls off the right of the rim. And Long Beach State comes back from 17 points down to advance to the Paycom Wooden Legacy semifinals.
Feast week is real. You have to show up and play the full 40 minutes. You got to tip your hat to Long Beach State. They never gave up. They didn't play a great game, but when it mattered, they made a run and they made the plays. This is a great play to finish the game. There you see the pass and the get back. He gets all the way to the rim and has a chance to shoot the floater from about 15 feet and just can't make it happen as Long Beach State escapes with a great win.
Long Beach State, a 21-8 run to finish this game. And how about Michael Carter III, our Paycom player of the game? 23 points, 6 of 10 from the floor, 9 of 10 from the free throw line. 3 of them win the ball game.
He got it started early, stayed active on defense, a lot of runouts, layups, big shots, big free throws. You talk about leadership on a young team. He really stepped up tonight, and he just had it going all night. And at the end, when it mattered most, he delivered for the Beach off the glass, and then with 3 ice water free throws.
So Long Beach State advances to take on the winner of our next game, Wake Forest against the College of Charleston. That will be at 4:30 Eastern over on ESPN News. Michael Carter III, 23 points, 2 3-pointers made. That's all the 3-pointers made for the entire Long Beach State team, and it was enough to overcome a 17-point deficit in the second half as Long Beach State wins it by 1. Coming up at 4:30 Eastern on ESPN News, it's our quarterfinal game between Wake Forest and Charleston. For Corey Williams, I'm Eric Rothman saying so long